Hello students, welcome to the new lecture, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about internal structure of the heart. Okay, internal structure of heart or internal structure of mammalian heart. So we know that internal structure means what are the structures that is present inside the heart that we know. Then what about mammalian heart? Mammalian heart means the heart which is present in mammals. Then the question is what is meant by mammal? Okay, mammal, M-A-M-M-A-L. Mammal means the organisms which have the mammary glands. Okay, so which have the mammary glands, they are known as mammals. So all human beings are mammals, all cows, goats, sheep. Okay, they are going to produce milk. Why? Because they have the mammary glands, hence they are placed or they are known as mammals. Okay, it means we are going to observe the mammalian heart. Okay, this is a lab activity. So in this lab activity, we have to understand, we have to study the internal structure of the mammalian heart. That is also the heart of a sheep. Why? Because we are unable to, we cannot get the heart of the human being. So this is the reason we are going to see the internal structure of a heart of a sheep or heart of a goat. Okay, so the aim, our aim for this experiment is observation of the internal structure of the mammalian heart. That is our aim. So the aim in this experiment, we need some materials. The required materials are a heart of sheep or goat. Next, soda straws means general normal straws. Next, large blade or scalpel. Next, water, scissors and forceps. These all are the materials that we require. Okay, so these are the materials that are required for the experiment. Next, procedure and observation. First, go to any butcher shop. Okay, it means the butcher shop is nothing but a meat shop, and ask the kidney and get the not the kidney, ask the heart. Okay, so ask them heart, and also they will provide heart and bring it to the lab. After bringing the heart to the lab, so first we have to drain the blood from the heart. Okay, we have to drain the blood from the heart. Okay, so next, how do you drain? Just pour out the blood which is present in the heart and wash it with the water. So after washing with the water, the heart becomes cleaner and clean without any blood. And now insert soda straws into stumps. Stumps is nothing but, so from the intestine is the heart, and from the heart some blood vessels will come out. Okay, so some blood vessels are there. In each and every blood vessel, put one straw. Okay, how many straws you can put in each and every blood vessel? Okay, that many blood vessels are there. So how many vessels are there, that we will discuss after a moment. Okay, so next, observe the arrangement of coronary vessels on the walls of the heart and so on. This is about our main aim and also main topic of the experiment. Okay, so based upon this, we have some questions. We are going to answer those questions which is present in the textbook. So if you clearly observe, how many layers of heart are covering? There are two layers around the heart. There are two layers. These two layers are known as pericardium. Okay, pericardium means the layer around the heart is known as pericardium. Okay, so these are the two layers around the heart. So next is what is shape of the heart? The shape of the heart is roughly triangular. Okay, means, so on the top side there is a broader, and at the bottom side there is narrow. Okay, so this is roughly triangular and has a pear shaped. Pear is nothing but a fruit. Okay, so wider at the anterior and narrow at the posterior end. So next is the how many large blood vessels stumps are there? Okay, the five blood vessels are there. It means you can insert 5 straws in each and every blood vessel. You can insert one straw. Okay, let us consider this is a blood vessel. Okay, so there are 5 blood vessels, and if you put one straw in each blood vessel, total you can fit 5 straws. It means 5 blood vessels are attached to the heart. Okay, so which end of the heart is broader, which end is narrower? So anterior means front one. Okay, anterior is a broader and posterior is the narrower. In this diagram you can see the heart. This is the, on the top side, this is the broader. Okay, this is anterior side, this is anterior. Okay, and this is narrow, this is posterior, this is posterior side. Okay, so this is about the questions and answers which is given in the textbook. Okay, Now the lab activity is over. Now we are going to study about the internal structure of the heart. So the internal structure of the heart, we are going to see what are the parts and what are the how much it what is the shape of your heart. Everything we are going to discuss in the internal structure of the heart. So the heart is pear shaped. Pear is nothing but a fruit. Okay, so it is having the shape of the pear and with a roughly triangular outline and wider at the anterior, narrow at the posterior. Okay, this is the outline of the heart. Next, heart is covered by the two layers membrane that is known as pericardium. Pericardium, peri means what is meant by pericardium? Okay, pericardium. So peri means outer side. Okay, peri means outer side. Cardium means a layer refers to the heart. Okay, that is known as pericardium. How many pericardial layers are there? Two layers. Two pericardial. Okay, so two pericardial layers are present. Okay, so these are also known as pericardial membranes. So these fluids, the main reason for having the pericardial membranes is the protection of the heart. Let us consider this is the heart. Okay, around the heart, how many layers are there? Two layers are there. So these layers are filled with fluid. These layers are filled with fluid. This fluid is known as pericardial fluid. So this is just rough diagram. This is not the original diagram. Just for our understanding, we are drawing in a rough manner. Okay, so between these two layers, between the two layers, the fluid is present. This fluid is known as pericardial fluid. Okay, so this pericardial fluid along with pericardial membranes, it is going to protect the heart from the shocks. Okay, means when the person fall down, so some kind of mechanical shocks will be generated. So from these mechanical shocks, this membrane along with the fluid is going to protect the heart. Okay, so next, heart is externally divided into four chambers or four grooves. So here you can see this is one groove. Okay, this is one groove and also second groove. Here will be the second groove and third and fourth. It means each and every groove is referring to the chamber. Let us consider this is the heart. Okay, so the grooves are in this way. So these grooves are separating the heart into four chambers. So the upper two chambers, so this is first and second. The upper two chambers are known as atria. Okay, they are known as atria. And lower two chambers, third and fourth chamber is known as ventricles. Okay, they are known as ventricles. Okay, so the coronary blood vessels are present around the heart. It means on the heart surface, the coronary blood vessels are there. So these coronary vessels are blood vessels. They are going to supply blood to the heart. So to the heart, these coronary vessels are going to supply blood to the walls of the heart. Means even though heart is an organ, so it is going to supply the blood. It is also going to require the blood. Okay, which blood? Oxygenated blood is required for the heart. Okay, so this is about the structure of the heart. And coronary arteries means on the top of the heart. Okay, on the top of the heart you can see the blood vessels, red and blue color blood vessels. Actually the blood vessels are not in blood and blue color, so they are only one type and only one type of color, but for our understanding purpose we have differentiated into red and blue. Okay, so these are the coronary vessels. That the blood vessels that will supply blood to the heart is known as coronary vessels or coronary blood vessels. Okay, so the walls of the ventricles are thicker than the walls of the auricles. So just now we have seen the chambers. Okay, so the upper two chambers. Okay, upper two chambers. So these two chambers, the walls of these two chambers, okay, are thin. Okay, so they are thin, and the walls of the ventricles, are thick. Okay, so the walls of the ventricles are thicker than the walls of the auricles. Okay, so auricles have the thinner walls and ventricles have the thicker walls. So the size of the atrium and the ventricles are here you can see the size of the left atrium and also ventricle and left ventricle are smaller than the right atrium and also right ventricle. Okay, so this is about the size of the right side chambers and also left side chambers. The blood vessels are tube-like structure. Just now we have seen the coronary vessels or coronary blood vessels and so on. What is meant by blood vessel? Blood vessel is nothing but a tube. Okay, a tube that will carry a fluid or a blood that is known as blood vessel. In case of blood vessel means a tube that will carry the blood is known as blood vessel. Okay, there are three types of the blood vessels are there. Okay, so there are three types of the blood vessels. First one is the arteries. Okay, so blood capillaries and veins. The three types of three types of the blood vessels are arteries, blood capillaries and veins. Okay, what is the difference between artery, blood capillaries and veins? So first artery will come. Okay, artery will divide into fine hair-like structure. It will again, this fine hair-like structure will turn into a single blood vessel. So this is artery. So this is artery. This is a blood capillary and this is known as vein. So in this diagram you can see clearly. Okay, in this diagram you can see blood capillary. This is known as blood capillary. This is known as vein and this is known as artery. So here the artery will come, it will divide into fine branches. These fine branches are known as blood capillaries. Again, these blood capillaries will turn into a major blood vessel that is known as a vein. Okay, this is the difference between arteries, blood capillaries and veins. Depending upon their region, depending upon their function, the blood vessels are divided into arteries, blood capillaries and veins. Okay, so next the arteries. We are going to discuss in detail about the artery. What is meant by artery? So artery means the blood vessels that originate from heart. It means, let us consider this is the heart. Okay, so this is the heart. From the heart, okay, a blood vessel is coming. So the systemic aorta will again divide into many blood vessels. These blood vessels are known as arteries. Okay, these blood vessels are originating from the heart. Originating means they are coming from the heart. Okay, so this is the heart. From the heart these blood vessels are coming. So they are going to supply oxygenated, means the blood with oxygen is known as oxygenated blood from the heart, and they will supply the oxygenated blood from the heart to different body parts. Here you can see, so different body parts. Okay, so by this, in this way they are going to supply. So arteries will have the thicker blood vessels. If you compare the size of the blood vessels, okay, the walls of the blood vessels of the arteries, they are going to have the thicker blood vessels, and aorta is the largest artery. Okay, largest artery. This is the aorta. Okay, so this is the aorta. It is the largest artery. This aorta will divide into arteries. Okay, aorta will divide into arteries. Okay, so this is another reason we are saying it. Aorta is a major blood vessel. Okay, or larger artery. Okay, so next the pulmonary aorta. So pulmonary aorta means the major blood vessel that originated from the right ventricle to the lungs. Here you can see in this diagram. So this is first chamber, right atrium. This is the second chamber, right ventricle. This is the third chamber, left atrium. This is the fourth chamber. This is the fourth chamber, left ventricle. So here the blood will be received to the heart chamber, the first chamber, that is to the right atrium. The blood will be received through superior vena cava. So this blood vessel is a superior vena cava. This blood vessel is known as inferior vena cava. From the superior and inferior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood is taken into the chamber. The chamber is known as right atrium. When the right atrium fills, what happens? When the right atrium fills with the blood, this right atrium is going to contract and will pump blood to the next chamber. That next chamber is known as right ventricle. So the right ventricle will take blood from the chamber. That chamber is known as right atrium, and this right ventricle will pump blood to the another tube. That tube is known as pulmonary. That is known as pulmonary. Okay, pulmonary artery. Okay, the pulmonary, so artery. So pulmonary artery is nothing but a blood vessel that will pump blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. Okay, right ventricle to the lungs. Why it will pump blood to the lungs? Why? Because the deoxygenated blood is present in the right ventricle, so it has to convert it into oxygenated. Okay, it has to be converted into oxygenated blood. so it is going to pump blood to the lungs. Again from the lungs, so what will happen in the lungs? The oxygen is again converted into oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood will be pumped to the pulmonary veins. Okay, pulmonary veins. Okay, here, okay, it's over. So the blood is pumped to the lungs. So from the lungs, the pulmonary veins, they are going to carry blood from the lungs to which chamber? Lungs to the left atrium. Okay, left atrium. So here you can see the left atrium, that is third chamber. The left atrium, pulmonary veins are going to pump blood. Okay, pump blood from the lungs to the left atrium. So now the left atrium will fill the blood. Okay, left atrium will be filled with blood, and now this left atrium is going to contract and blood will be pumped to the next chamber. That next chamber is known as left ventricle. From the left atrium to the left ventricle. Okay, so by this way the blood will be flown. Here you can see there are valves. Okay, here there are valves. So between the two chambers, let us consider this is the heart. Okay, so this is auriculoventricular septum, the line. Okay, this is horizontal line is known as auriculoventricular septum. Why we are going to call it as auriculoventricular septum? Septum means a separation. Okay, septum means a separation. So this septum is going to separate top two chambers and bottom two chambers. Top two chambers are known as auricles and bottom two chambers are known as ventricles. So the septum separating the auricles and ventricles, that is known as auriculo. Okay, that is known as auriculoventricular. Okay, ventricular septum. Okay, so this is known as auriculoventricular septum. Auriculoventricular septum nothing but a layer that is separating the auricles and ventricles of the heart. It is known as auriculoventricular septum. Okay, so in the auriculoventricular septum, so right auriculoventricular septum means here the right side. So right auriculoventricular septum means it is present between the right atrium and also right ventricle. Here there is a valve. Okay, that valve is known as tricuspid. Okay, here you can see that is known as tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve, how it is going to look like? Okay, here you can see how the tricuspid valve is going to look like. The tricuspid valve is going to look in this way. So this is the tricuspid valve. In this diagram you can see. So it is going to have the three flap-like structures. Okay, it is going to have the three flap-like structures. It is known as tricuspid valve. So why it is going to present over here? So this is just a rough diagram of the heart. Okay, so this is the atrium. From the atrium, when it's contracted, the blood will flow to the ventricle. Okay, that is right ventricle. So when the right ventricle contracts, what happens? There is a chance of flowing blood back to the atrium, right atrium. So here in this point of time, this valve, the tricuspid valve will close. When the tricuspid valve closes, what will happen? The blood cannot move back to the right atrium. So this is the reason. So here the tricuspid valve is going to prevent the flow of blood back to the auricles. Okay, that is the main importance of the tricuspid valve. So here after tricuspid valve, there is a pulmonary valve also. Okay, from just now we have discussed, from the right ventricle there is a tube. That tube is known as pulmonary. That is known as a pulmonary artery. So the pulmonary artery. So remember, the pulmonary artery is only the artery that will carry deoxygenated. So deoxygenated. Remaining all arteries are going to carry oxygenated. Okay, oxygenated. So this is only the difference. All arteries will carry oxygenated blood, but except pulmonary artery. Okay, so pulmonary artery will carry deoxygenated blood. So here in the pulmonary artery there is a pulmonary valve. Here there is a tube. Just now we have discussed, no, a tube. So this tube at here there is a pulmonary valve is there. The pulmonary valve is there. So pulmonary valve is present in the pulmonary artery. Okay, So tricuspid valve is over. Bicuspid valve, where the bicuspid valve is present here. So between the left auriculoventricular septum, between the in the left auriculoventricular septum, there is a bicuspid valve. This bicuspid valve is also known as mitral valve. This mitral valve is present between the left auriculoventricular septum. Okay, this is also going to prevent the flow of blood from the ventricles to the auricle. Okay, left ventricle to the left auricle, that will be prevented by the bicuspid valve. Okay, so here you can see pulmonary valve. Just now we have discussed pulmonary valve. No, here you can see pulmonary valve. And aorta, in the aorta also there is a valve that is known as aortic valve. Aortic valve is present in the pulmonary aorta. Okay, so here you can see the pulmonary valve, the valve present in the region of the pulmonary artery. Next is the systemic valve. The systemic valve means the valves which is present in the region of the systemic aorta and so on. So the right atrium, it has the opening of the superior vena cava. So just now we have discussed what is superior vena cava means. This is the blood vessel. The blood vessel over here, this is known as superior vena cava, and beneath the blood vessel, that is known as inferior vena cava. Both superior and inferior vena cava are going to bring blood from the body, and they are going to pump blood into the right atrium. From the right atrium, it is going to pump blood into the left ventricle. So here from the left ventricle, the blood is pumped to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Okay, so again from the lungs, in the lungs there is a conversion of deoxygenated blood to the oxygenated, and from that lungs the blood, oxygenated blood, will be transported to the right to the left ventricle, to the left atria. Okay, to the left atria. From the left atria to the left ventricle. So from the left ventricle to the body parts. Okay, so this is the way how it is going to occur. So here the from left ventricle to the body parts, there is a valve, there is a major blood vessel. That major blood vessel is known as systemic aorta. Okay, is the major blood vessel. This major blood vessel will divide into many arteries, and this is the way how the body parts will receive blood from the arteries. Okay, so there are questions. Is the thickness of the wall of the heart is uniform throughout? No, the thickness of the wall of the heart is not uniform throughout the heart. Okay, throughout the heart. Example, atria are thin walled than the ventricles, and ventricles are thicker walled. Why? Because they have to exert some amount of pressure. So how many chambers are there in the heart? There are 4 chambers. They are right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. These are the 4 chambers of the heart. Okay, are all chambers of the heart same size? All chambers of the heart do not have the same size. Left atrium and left ventricle are smaller. Okay, means left side are smaller and right side are larger. Means right atrium and right ventricle are larger. Okay, when compared to the left atrium and left ventricle. So next is what other differences could you observe between the chambers? So the left auricle and left ventricle are smaller than the right auricle and also right ventricle. Okay, so next is, are all chambers concentrated each other or connected each other? No. Here the question is no. Answer is no. So the heart, the chambers are separated by the septa. Okay, so only auricles are connected to the ventricles by the walls. So here the auricles, okay, are connected to the ventricles by the walls. What are those walls? Tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. Tricuspid valve is present between the left atrium and left ventricle, and bicuspid valve is present between the right atrium and also right ventricle. Okay, so how are they connected to each other? How they are separated? So here you can see the auricles are connected to the ventricles by walls which are present in the auriculoventricular septum. Auriculoventricular septum means a membrane or a separation present between the auricles and the ventricles. Okay, so how many blood vessels are attached to the heart? Here you can see the 5 blood vessels are attached to the heart. They are aorta, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, superior vena cava, and also inferior vena cava. These are the 5 blood vessels that are attached to the heart on the broader end or anterior side. Okay, are all blood vessels are rigid? How many of them are rigid? Okay, so all blood vessels are not rigid. all blood vessels are not rigid, only arteries are rigid. Why? Because they have to exert some amount of pressure. So there is a lot amount of pressure is there in the arteries, so they are going to have the rigid walls. Okay, so here you can see the aorta and also pulmonary artery. Okay, so here, do you think that stiffness and rigidity of the blood vessels is something to do with circulation? Yes, the rigidity and stiffness is required. There is some importance. They play important role in withstanding the blood pressure which is exerted by the heart and also preventing the bursting. So if the blood vessels are not, if the arteries do not have the rigid and stiffness and thickness in the blood in the walls, so what happens? They will burst due to the pressure. So to prevent such kind of disaster, they are going to have the stiff and rigid blood vessels. Okay, rigid walls. Okay, and I hope this lecture is helpful to you, and if you have any doubts or questions or suggestions, feel free to post in the comment section, and in the next section, in the next lecture, we will discuss the next topic. Okay.